My mom threw a full-blown tantrum over my service dog, then acted like it never happened. Hello, entitled parents enjoyers. On the advice of my therapist, I'm going to start sharing some stories of my bats hit by mom. And maybe we all can get a laugh or two out of it. Many of these stories probably belong on insane parents, but this one is goofy enough I felt y'all may enjoy it. I, 23 at the time, caused my mother, 54 at the time, who I lived with at the time, to have a full 3-year-old style tantrum over me getting a service dog. So a little background: Eve got a pretty serious visual disability that impacts my mobility, no balance, will walk off stairs and curbs. TLDR, I used to accidentally hurt myself a lot. So for a while I had been looking at getting a service dog to help why these issues, as stuff like canes and walkers just didn't do anything. I also secretly hoped it would help my serious burnout being caused by world events. So after about a year of rejections, my best friend randomly shows up to my house one day, showing me pictures of border collie puppies, and there was this one dog I was just in love with. Can't really explain it, but we connected basically instantly, even though I hadn't met the little shit yet. So I tell my bud that if that puppy was still available, I'd take her. I wasn't one to make spontaneous choices like that, but something just clicked. My mother was less than thrilled even at the idea. We were a dig household growing up, but my mother is, well, crazy to put it nicely, and if she gets it in her head that something is bad, she will double down until there's nothing left. So my bud calls me and tells me the pup is still looking for a home. I reach out to the SD organization and explain the situation, and they explain that it may be possible to train the pup, but they'd need to vet them, check temperament, all that jazz. I passed numbers along. The trainers met the pup's mom's owner, and I was given a temporary green light. I was on cloud nine. Not only would I be getting my own service dog after waiting ages, but for the first time in nearly a year, I actually felt happy enough to get up before 6 p.m. So I spent the next couple of weeks getting everything prepared for when my dog would come home. Got vet stuff set up, training crate, food, toys, the whole 9 yards, and my mother began getting more and more hostile. It started pretty like my dryer door randomly getting opened, food I made getting tossed, that sort of stuff, but it grew increasingly nuts, like I had to replace the dog's leash 3 times as it kept getting cut. This all came to a head when we went up for day in the mountains. We were going to decorate graves, go eat, everything. I was a bit too happy, like a bit over the top with being helpful and making sure everyone had what they needed. And this led to snarky remarks often. On a few days prior, I was given my dog's pickup date and was just living in a different world. My sister, who organized this trip, and her kiddos were aware, but my mother was not. Anyway, tensions got raised as the day went on. Everyone was excited both for the day trip and the new doggo addition to the family. Well, my mother snapped. Around the time we went to eat, I was just getting dunked on left and right about how I didn't need a dog, and how my condition that I've had since I was a literal infant wasn't that bad. For context, I can't see more than a few inches past my face. My sister, in a moment of brilliance, had enough and told my mother to shove it because I was approved for this assistance dog and was going to pick her up in 2 weeks' time. You could have heard a pin drop. This 50-plus-year-old woman starts sobbing, screaming, and kicking like a toddler, saying she didn't want a dog, and it wasn't fair this was being forced on her, and how she didn't like the dog's breed and wanted a Yorkie, and just all this BS. We got asked to leave the restaurant, and my mother got so mad she threw her phone down, causing it to shatter, leading to her in the parking lot of this establishment on her knees, falling about like I can't even describe. The kicker to this whole thing: prior to this dog coming into my life, my mother had been supportive of the idea, so I'm still not sure where it came from. She just really did not like my SD. Even 2 years later, after I had the doggo, and they were fully trained, it actually led to me moving out, but that's a whole different story. Now, 5 years since the move, she's obsessed with my dog and acts like none of that ever happened. Figures LOL. I know it's a bit tame compared to what normally gets posted here, but I hope you enjoy reading. Have a good one.